Hey everyone, I'm Andy and welcome to another episode of Easy Tiki Drinks. And today on the channel, we're going to be starting our exploration of cocktails by modern bartender Brian Maxwell. And today, we're going to be starting with Kwamina's cooler. So, let's do this. Over the last few months, we started showcasing different modern tiki bartenders. We did Jason Alexander, Justin Voislav, and now we're going to be doing Brian Maxwell. Now here's the thing. For any of you that have bought the Minimalist Tiki book, know some of Brian Maxwell's recipes. A lot of his recipes are not what I would consider easy. They include obscure ingredients or things that you just typically don't have on your bar. So, here's what I've done, or here's what I'm doing. I am digging through all of Brian Maxwell's recipes that he has published, and I am finding the ones that are easy. And by easy, I mean common ingredients that aren't super far-fetched that we can use in multiple cocktails. Now, if you don't know who Brian Maxwell is, then I don't know what you've been doing in the tiki world. But anyway, Brian Maxwell is the bar manager of Hidden Harbor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He also works for a couple other restaurants underneath the restaurant umbrella company that he works for, but his main role is bar manager at Hidden Harbor. He's actually been in the industry for over 20 years. That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever done anything for 20 years, except live. He wasn't always a bartender. He actually took a different job right out of school. He was actually in marketing, but decided he hated sitting behind a desk for 8 hours a day, went to work for a restaurant and just never looked back. To me, Brian is an icon in the tiki world, and it's for one reason mainly. When COVID hit the world, bars shut down, restaurants were closed, and people could no longer go and enjoy themselves after work and have a few drinks. Everybody was under a ton of stress. We didn't know what was gonna happen next. And Brian, seeing all this, went above and beyond. He started a website called Shaker of Spirits, which also happens to be his Instagram handle. And if you don't already follow him, go do that. I'll leave a link in the description below. And on that website, he started posting recipes to his cocktails, like the original ones that he created. He'd give the backstory of where the idea came from, and then he would post the actual ingredients and give subs. He'd be like, well, this is what I'm using, but here's what you can use. He wanted to share his passion for tiki with the world that at the time needed something to help take their mind off of everything that was going on. So Brian, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for doing everything you've done, especially during those tough times. And I thought with recent events in this country, now would be a perfect time to not only start showcasing Brian's cocktails, but the Kwamina cooler specifically. Why the Kwamina cooler? Well, if you stick around to the end of this episode, I'm gonna tell you where Brian came up with the name and got the inspiration from. And I think it is super fitting considering what this world is going through, especially the United States right now. Anyway, let's take a look at what we're gonna need to make this Kwamina cooler. First, we're gonna need aged Demerara rum, banana liqueur, orgeat, coconut syrup, and lime juice. As you can see, only 5 ingredients and super common ingredients. The only one that might be kind of weird here is the banana liqueur, but we've done it in other videos, so I felt like it was fitting. I'm gonna rearrange this. I will say, Brian does specifically say that he uses the Giffard's banana liqueur. Mine is different. The Tempest Fusion is a much darker, roastier, think like baked banana bread flavor profile, whereas the Giffard's is gonna be brighter, more like Runt candy banana flavor. That's okay. I still think this is gonna make a great cocktail either way. So let's start building this. I'll sip on it, tell you what I think about it, and then we'll go into why it's called the Kwamina cooler and why I think that's perfect for right now. Anyway, we're gonna need 3/4 of an ounce of our lime juice. Half an ounce of our orgeat. Half an ounce of our coconut syrup. Now, as you notice, I'm calling it coconut syrup. That's because other people call it cream of coconut or coconut cream, and there's a large discrepancy in what you call it. Technically, this is cream of coconut. It is to mimic Coco Lopez. I make this at home by the Smuggler Cove Specs, which takes Thai coconut milk and simple syrup and a pinch of salt. But I'm tired of saying cream of coconut, so I'm just gonna call this coconut syrup. We cool with that? I'm cool with that. All right, half an ounce of our coconut syrup. Now, if you don't want to make your own coconut syrup, by all means, please go use Coco Lopez. It is the industry standard, and that'll work just as well. We need a half an ounce of our banana liqueur. Finally, we're gonna need 1.5 ounces of our aged Demerara rum. All right, let's fill our large shaking tin with some ice. I'm gonna pour in our cocktail, give it a nice little whack. Then we're gonna whip shake for about 5 to 8 seconds. Crack this bad boy open. Grab our double rocks glass, and we're just gonna open pour right in. Top off with some more fresh crushed ice. For a garnish, Brian calls for pineapple fronds. So I've got my 3 right here. A lime wheel, and an umbrella. This one might be a little broken. Let me get a different umbrella. This one's lame. There we go. Straw. Actually, this is the right straw. I'm gonna place that right back in there. And there you have it. Brian Maxwell's Kwamina cooler. Let's give it a try. Ooh. That is rich and luxurious, and there's so much, like, there's a lot of fat in this cocktail, right? Between the orgeat and the coconut syrup, that's a lot of fat, but it's being cut through by that lime juice. That Demerara is, especially this Demerara Eldorado 12, is adding such a nice coconut, like, mango flavor to it. It's a really good cocktail, super tropical, super refreshing. So why is it called the Kwamina cooler, and why do I think that's such a good name for right now? Well, Brian based this cocktail off of a leader during the 1832 Demerara Rebellion. For those of you that don't know, Demerara rum comes from Guyana, specifically the Demerara River region of Guyana. And in 1832, there was a rebellion against the French, where the Guyanese kind of rebelled and wanted their own government. One of the leaders during this revolution was Kwamina. Kwamina was a pastor, or had to do with a church, and advocated for a peaceful rebellion. So why do I think this is such an iconic and fitting cocktail for now? Well, the United States is experiencing a lot of turmoil right now over a court decision that was just overturned. Much like when COVID hit, we had a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world now, at least in the United States. So I would like to just come out and say that much like we had uncertainty through COVID, we stuck together and we got through it, and the same thing will happen now. And I think that Kwamina advocating for a peaceful rebellion is just super symbolic of everything that's happening in the United States right now. I thought it was very fitting for us to use this cocktail, for us to use Brian Maxwell's example of what he did through COVID. I'm just gonna try and help you guys through this right now. Listen, I hope these cocktails bring a little joy to your life. I hope these videos bring a smile to your face, because at the end of the day, that's all I really want. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is a wonderful little cocktail that I hope you go make yourself. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, if it brought a smile to your face, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that little notification bell, follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at EasyTikiDrinks. And until next time, everybody, keep it cool and take it easy.